Hey everybody, welcome to week 11 of the NFL. This is our Thursday video, so we're going to be talking about our favorite bets this week as more information has come along, especially regarding to injury. Our last 2 weeks we've been going positive, especially betting on some road underdogs that we really like. So we're going to stick with that winning formula here in this video as we keep trying to make everyone, including ourselves, a little bit of money and keep racking up the unit ladder.
Yeah, like Ian mentioned, we've had a last couple of good weeks now. Feel pretty comfortable with the teams. The season's been going along. So make sure you guys like and subscribe if you haven't already. The bets have been getting a lot better, and we hope to share this wealth with you guys. And then just one quick shout out for our Twitter page. The handle is at Profit of Picks, but we've also been releasing college basketball plays starting last week. We're 5-3 going into today. We hit on Michigan State last night. And I also posted some videos. There was a video released last night as well. Missed on Ohio State, who a lot of people had. They played terrible, but DePaul's looking good, should even out. We're still positive record for college basketball, so make sure you guys give that a look as well if you're interested.
Yeah, some great analysis in those videos, and you're going to get best in those videos that we're not always posting to Twitter as well, so it's good to follow both those. As always, we're going to talk about PrizePicks, our favorite daily fantasy app. If you use our code PROPICS, your first deposit will get matched up to $100. They're just giving you free money, guys. I tell you, we use this. A lot of our friends do too. Sign up, deposit a little bit of money, take the deposit match they give you, play around with the free money they're going to hand to you. If you like the app, keep using it. If you don't, withdraw. It's really not a lot of risk if you use our code PROPICS to take the free money and play around with that. We really like this platform because of the fact that you use this flex play. Because how many times you made a parlay in your bet slip and FanDuel DraftKings and every leg hits but one. With PrizePicks, you can do that with up to 5 leg parlay. If just one of those legs doesn't hit, they'll pay you out still a little bit less than your full bet if it hit, but you'll still get paid nonetheless, which is great because personally for me, I love doing 3-leg parlays almost always. 2 of my 3 legs are going to hit, so I just keep racking up money that way. And just a reminder, use the code PROPICS, take the free money they're going to give you, and try out the app.
Yeah, also this app's growing a lot recently. They've had a few new promos that they've been putting out in the last couple of weeks. For example, they had a Taco Tuesday this last Tuesday, and they shaved down Steph Curry and Kevin Durant's first half points scored. Both of the overs on those hit, so that's basically free money. And then today, between an NFL and an NBA parlay, they were going to double your odds for your payout. So it's a lot of interesting different promos that they offer.
In addition to this extra $100 we're going to give you. So really worth signing up, playing around, try this new site. Big value add for states where gambling isn't legal yet, like California, Florida, Texas, we always mention, North Carolina. Big states where if you're trying to get into some light casual betting, it's a great app to do it where it's legal because of the daily fantasy. So we're going to start out with probably one of the best, most exciting games of this NFL Week 11 with the Cowboys taking on the Chiefs. Both look pretty dominant in their last wins. Both really good teams competing for the playoff spots. Dallas looks like a little more positive spot than the Chiefs, but we really like Dallas here at plus 2.5 and maybe even money line for the fact that these are both two really good football teams. But the Cowboys defense, number one, is superior compared to the Chiefs defense, which has looked awful all year in all regards. But the Cowboys have a much more balanced, two-dimensional, steady offense that can rely on either the run game or the pass game. Whatever that defensive front is going to give them, they're going to take it. Whereas the Chiefs are much more reliant on one guy, Patrick Mahomes, and their key receivers with Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. But if the Cowboys defense can commit to making Patrick Mahomes play patient football and making that offense run the ball way more than they pass, like other teams have been doing, I think the Cowboys have a really good shot here. My prediction is that if I'm the Cowboys, I'm just going to rely on my dominant O-line to push around this undersized Kansas City front seven and let Zeke, who's one of the biggest, toughest running backs in the league, to bulldoze you through that front seven and keep Patrick Mahomes off the field by running all that clock too. So I like the Cowboys here a lot, especially with guys like Micah Parsons, their rookie. He's just doing so well. He leads the team in sacks, QB pressures. So he's doing so much more than this team's asked for when they drafted him. Him stepping up along with Trayvon Diggs makes this defense a lot more dangerous than it used to be on paper at the start of the season.
Yeah, same reasoning as Ian here. And just taking a quick look at the injury report, there's not too much going on. Mike Remmers for the Chiefs, their right tackle, is supposed to miss a second straight week because he's not participating in practice today, as well as Algerius Sneed, who is limited. So not a lot going on the Chiefs end, but nothing really going on for the Cowboys as well. Deshaun Wright, the corner, was just popped up on the injury report, so that's not good news. He might not play, but shouldn't be a huge impact on the outcome of this game. The most important just aspect of the injury report is that Tyron Smith is limited participant. He's making progress. He might be back. That would even be another addition towards this Cowboys running game.
Yeah, it'd be huge. I mean, right now the Chiefs' backs are against the wall, and they kind of need to win this game. But I just think the Cowboys are just a superior football team, and if they can play their style of football, that's very conducive against this Chiefs team that has much more finesse instead of a ground and pound type offense like the Cowboys, especially with that O-line.
Yeah,
so,
this will probably be one of the only times for the rest of the year you'll get Cowboys plus money as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Take that. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But the Chiefs really have to play out of their mind to win this game. And they did it last week, but against a pretty bad team against the Raiders. Let's see if they can do it again and get some momentum. Now, like I talked about, the road underdogs. We're going to stick with them. The Colts, who are a pretty formidable football team against the Bills, who maybe they haven't played like in recent weeks, especially with some subpar talent they've been playing, but one of the best football teams in the NFL. Hard not to like the Colts here at +7, though. This is a team much like the Cowboys and a lot more like the Browns, who are going to rely heavily on the run game, good coaching, and a solid defense to keep them in the game. The Colts style and formula for playing football, it seems like they're always going to be in a game, whether they're underdogs or playing a team that's much worse than them. They always seem to keep the game close, whether they're, like I said, favorite or underdog, just because they're going to run the ball. They're not going to do too much in the passing game on offense. They're not going to give up much on defense, much less give up a big play on defense, which is what the Bills kind of thrive off of with Josh Allen there. I think that if they stick to, like they said, their formula, their style of football, which is running behind that incredible offensive line, even without Quinn Nelson, and Jonathan Taylor, who's one of the best backs, if not the best back in the league now with Derrick Henry out. I think that this team just knows how to compete and stay within football games. You saw when they played the Rams back when they were the most unstoppable team in football too. The Colts were able to hang with them. Carson Wentz is able to, make a horseshoe play every now and then. If he can hold on the ball, I think the Colts here can cover 7, which is a lot of points. Honestly, I expect the Bills to be up by double digits for the most of this game. And the Colts have a backdoor cover and cover that 7 points while trying to make a comeback in the fourth quarter.
For me, I'm a little bit higher on the Colts, honestly, which plays even more towards our pick. The injury report, kind of even across the page. Not many injuries, but 2 big ones, or 1 big one on each side. Darius Leonard re-aggravated his ankle.
That is a huge one.
He'll probably still play, but he's not going to be 100%. But on the other end, Tremaine Edmonds did not participate in practice, so that kind of evens out.
I'd say so.
But Darius Leonard is probably a little more important to the Colts defense.
Bigger piece. They're both really good linebackers, but Darius Leonard is the identity of that defense. Kind of like the Bobby Wagner of the team.
Right. But I just think the Colts are a very good football team. I think they still have a good shot to make the playoffs.
They're going to need to step up
with their division, but I don't think the Bills are as dominant as everybody thinks they were. They've definitely shown some weaknesses. Josh Allen and could really go off at any moment, but he's not been the same Josh Allen as he was last year. They're not blowing everybody out. I like the Colts a lot. +7 on the road. Not an official play, but I'll probably sprinkle a little bit on the money line as well.
And that weather in Buffalo, especially in the wintertime, getting close to the wintertime, it gets brutal, and it just keeps the game closer than it should be because like the cold or the rain, wind, snow, it doesn't matter. And when the conditions are terrible, that's better for the run game. It's a lot easier to just hand the ball to your running back and throw the ball 50 yards downfield and stuff like that. I think it's a lot easier for a team with a dominant run game. If a team's one-dimensional, it's easier for them to win with a dominant run game, I think, than a dominant pass game, just because at least with a run game, you can build a play-action pass off of it, and that's what the Colts do pretty well. Versus the Bills, they're going to drop back and pass on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. The only thing they have going for them is they have a very mobile quarterback in Josh Allen, so that's how they get away with it. But when teams start to break the pass every play, if they can contain the QB, that's how you limit a team like the Bills, and that's how you cover 7 points and possibly win the game. What's the theme of the last 3 videos? Road dogs, baby. We're sticking with the Texans coming off a bye, playing the Titans, who are possibly the hottest team in football. Quietly, like I said in the last video, I think they have the best record in football, 8-2. At the very least, tied for the best, because there's no one-loss teams in football. So even without Derrick Henry, the Titans have really shown they can play football and belong in this league. That being said, I do think they're a little bit overrated, and I do think this 10-point spread is reflective of recency bias for how hot they've been. I think the Texans coming off a bye week helps them a lot. Tyrod Taylor getting a little bit healthy helps a lot, especially getting more acclimated in that offense. He looked terrible and very turnover prone in that Miami game last time we saw him play. If he can limit those stupid boneheaded decisions that he made that game, which cost me some money, by the way, I think they can cover this 10-point spread. I love a divisional rival coming off a bye, double-digit spread, even on the road. I like that. I think all you got to do is really take away A.J. Brown. Julio Jones was hurt last game. He might be back, but if you can take away A.J. Brown,
Julio, I think, is out.
He's just out this game.
He's on my fantasy team, and he's listed as IR.
Okay.
So I dropped him
So
today.
if you can stop Derrick Henry, force the Titans to beat you with Adrian Peterson. I don't think they can. And if they knew they can't, they're going to win this game. But they can't beat him by double digits with Adrian Peterson. There's no way.
Yeah,
there's no way.
That's where I was going with this. Julio Jones isn't going to play. As mentioned, Derrick Henry isn't going to play. Bud Dupree did not practice today.
2 huge defenders out.
Jeremy McNichols did not participate. So they only have Adrian Peterson back there. And Jeffrey Simmons, their stud defensive tackle, did not participate either. They're depleted. And on top of that, I saw a tweet last night, Ian McMillan, pretty popular on YouTube, but the Titans have the 23rd ranked yards per game yards per game on offensive end. And then they've given up the 23rd yards per game on the defensive end. Yeah. So they're bottom third in both offense and defense in yards per game. Pulled out a bunch of wins still, but they're depleted.
I love Mike Vrabel. They got a great coaching staff. They're going to win games. They're going to win a lot of games they shouldn't. They're going to win this game. The Titans, no doubt. But I just think, look, all the injuries we said, and coming off a bye week, divisional rival, they know this. The Texans already know the team very well. Now you give them a week to prepare. You give them a week to get healthy, and you got a very, like I said, depleted team, losing a lot of their star talent on both sides of the football. It's just screaming +10. Like I said, the road underdogs have been making us a lot of money recently. There's no reason to go away from it now. We pick and choose our games wisely, and this was a game we really like a lot. I didn't know McNichols was out too. That's a big.
Yeah. Or didn't practice today.
Okay, if he's out, there's no doubt in my mind that covers because Adrian Peterson's not going to
be able to run. Yeah.
God, I can't believe we keep going with the. Like,
there's another one.
You're waiting for us to break the trend, but we're not going to do it.
It's not going to happen.
Is it happening? Next pick. Next pick. They're not underdogs. But I digress.
Who knows?
Steelers +6.5 here. This was our least confident pick of all the cards. We're going to tease this one. I mean, I just don't see the Steelers losing by double digits in any game. Again, too good of a coaching staff, too much talent, especially on the defense side of the football, and too competent of a quarterback in Big Ben. His body may be deteriorating, and he's not the quarterback he used to be, but he's savvy enough to win games, or at least keep them close, like kind of does what Aaron Rodgers does a lot of times. Hurries up the line of scrimmage, catches the defense offsides, or catches them 12 men in the field. So little things like that keep the team in the game.
They're getting a lot out of Najee Harris too.
He's a beast. Yeah. I mean, everyone knew when they drafted him, they were going to run him to the ground, and they are. But he's a workhorse, and he's killing it on the pass and the run game. Love him. They have a pretty quietly good receiving core. Is
Claypool's still limited with his toe?
Okay.
I don't know what to exactly expect from him. He might play. I wouldn't expect a ton. At the same time, though,
they got enough guys. Wildermuth, that is the tight end. Firemuth, whatever, man. Muth, he's stepping up at tight end too, adding another element to that offense. I think the Steelers have a chance to win this game. I think people are really counting them out. I don't. That being said, they're not going to win the game probably, but this is a good enough football team where they can compete with anyone. I really believe, especially a team that's like not incredibly great like the Chargers. If they can get a pass rush, that's how you beat this Chargers team. Because if you give Herbert a clean pocket, he's going to pick you apart. He's just too accurate. Keenan Allen is too good of a route runner. He's got too good of a safety valve with Eckler out of the backfield. The key to beating this team is pass rush, with Hayward and Watt, this Steelers team has a good chance to do that. And so I think 6.5 is pretty good in itself to cover. And then on top of that, we're going to tease it anyways, because like I said, least confident, but both these teams are coming off. Well, Steelers had just that terrible game against the Lions. Chargers are coming off a loss. I think it's going to be a close game. And I like 6.5, and I like double-digit tees for the Steelers even more.
Yeah.
Any key injuries we missed?
No, nothing to add really. There's some guys who are out, but nothing too impactful.
Nothing
At the end of the day, I just believe it's gonna be a close game. I think that line is pretty high too.
It's moved a line.
Wait, is that right? No, not the line. I'm talking the over. I might not have,
definitely not.
I might not have.
No one's paying attention to that anyways. Definitely. There's no way a Steelers game is at a 54-point spread or total.
Disregard the total.
But the 6.5 is right. It's already moved a lot in the Chargers' favor, which I really don't care. I think people are just drinking that Kool-Aid. But I think a well-coached team with a solid defense, like I think no matter what's going on with the offense, you have a chance to compete in games, especially when you're given a 1-2 score spread. So like the underdog there. Still sticking with the road team, but not the underdog this time. And it's the Ravens at -5.5. I think you might even be able to get them at 5 potentially now, depending on the line's movement. So a lot of movement in the Bears' favor. Both teams coming off bye weeks. No, or the Ravens coming off a long week. Ravens coming off a long week against that loss to the Dolphins, which
last Thursday.
Which I like even more in this situation because they just got absolutely embarrassed on national television after they're riding pretty high. So I think that helps. It's just locker room fuel. Back. You know, it helps them.
Their division is just so tough too.
Yeah, they got to keep winning. The Browns, Bengals.
Got to win those games you're supposed to win.
Exactly. And then the Bears, they are trending in the right direction. Coming off a bye week. Tough loss. Is the last game where they lost to that heartbreak against the Steelers?
Yeah, and then they had the bye week last week.
They got some good karma coming their way, but hopefully not this week. They're finally starting to figure out how to use Justin Fields in that offense, really using his mobility as a strength instead of just having him drop back and stand there and let his O-line, let the defenders get all over him. I personally believe two things in this game. This is why I like the -5.5. One, Lamar Jackson is going to tear up this Bears defense. I know he's got a little sickness, which we'll talk about later, but if he's anywhere close to healthy, I think he just absolutely destroys these guys. I really like the resurgence of Rashad Bateman. Not resurgence. I like the emergence of Rashad Bateman, who I love when they drafted him in the first round this year in the draft. He has so much talent, and he's one of the missing pieces this offense needed. They had the run game all solid until all those injuries, but the wide receiver was that big hole in the offense, and they kind of filled that with him. I really like that a lot. And then I think that the Ravens defense is too savvy, along with the defensive coordinator. They have a really big front seven. I think this defense is going to give them fits. Marlon Humphreys is one of, if not the best cornerback in the AFC. Notice I said AFC because Jalen Ramsey is the best cornerback right now. Marlon Humphreys is going to shut down Allen Robinson, which isn't too hard because the way the Bears use him, they don't utilize his talents at all. Yeah. Mooney, he might not even play. And their front seven's so big, I think they're going to dominate the Bears' offensive line. I'm not too concerned about the Bears this game. I think they're going to compete coming off a bye week. I'm sure Nagy will have some plays up his sleeve, but I think the Ravens have a bounce-back game on a long week to prove that they're still one of the top, if not the top contender in the AFC.
Yeah, I think the most important just nugget of information from all that was that the Ravens got killed last week on a Thursday game in Miami. Just absolutely embarrassed. Long week to prepare, but there's a ton of injuries in this game. Starting with the Ravens, Lamar has a non-COVID illness. So with it only being Thursday, I think he'll be fine to play by Sunday.
Yeah.
And then for their two receivers, Marquise Brown and Rashad Bateman, both did not practice today, actually. So
maybe keep it on. Hold your bets maybe until Sunday when that injury report comes out. Is what I would recommend. We'll do the same thing. If it comes Sunday and those receivers aren't playing, I would take us off the card because and then it really has to be a Lamar Jackson game. Right. But I'm not going to count Lamar to win by 6 points by himself.
But on the other, literally the Ravens just need a couple of the receivers to play because the Bears.
Give me one of those two, yes.
The Bears have everybody on the injury report. Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, Allen Robinson, and Danny Trevathan all did not practice today. And then on top of that, Eddie Jackson and Mooney were both limited today. So essentially every single good player on the Bears is hurt.
Except for Fields and Roquan Smith. You didn't mention him either.
No.
Those are like everyone else that's a playmaker on that team is injured. And so obviously someone to keep an eye on. Injuries are going to play a big factor in this game. Keep an eye on that all the way up to Sunday. at game time because that's really going to decide, I think, the tipping point in the spread. I think the Ravens win no matter what. They're teetering and tottering for that division lead. They're too good of a football team to not win this division, quite honestly. I had the Browns at the beginning of the year. I've been convinced that the Ravens, it's time to stop doubting Lamar Jackson for how insanely good he is. So if they can play even close to their potential, they're going to beat the Bears. And if they play like they should, especially coming off an embarrassing loss, I think they come to play kind of the way they came to play against the Chargers. After they had that loss and they came out and they say, you know what, we know what we're worth. We know how good we are. And they obliterated them. I got a feeling that's going to happen again this week. But again, injuries will play a key role in that. Let's take a look at the card. We talked about it. We love the Texans for a lot of reasons. Just injuries to the star players on both sides of football for the Titans.
And just the
bye week divisional rival. Like they've seen this team twice a year, all the time, every year. Obviously, they come up the bye week. They have so much material on these guys. One, actual physical tape, but also just like emotions and hate, which fuels football more than people give it credit for. That's gonna it's so conducive to a double-digit spread.
Right. We also bought the extra half a point there.
Yeah, it was
them at plus 10.
It was plus 10 at minus 105. I said, just in case we lose it by exactly 10 points, let's get the hook, cover ourselves a little bit. We like that one a lot. Colts, they're a pretty good football team. They find that the division lead. Now with the emergence of the Patriots, and that division coming off a hot win streak, the Bills do need to win this game. But the Colts are a tough, hard-nosed football team. I think it's tough and much harder said than done than to beat them by more than a touchdown. So I had the Colts there. And we didn't mention the Giants at all, but we added them late. A lot of the numbers say we like them. And one of the reasons we like the Giants so much is there's a lot of money right now on the Buccaneers. Yeah. And anytime there's a lot of money on one side, we like to go away from that because just the law of averages. If Vegas is going to make money, they have to win those games, those lopsided games more often than not, right?
Okay.
If everyone's betting on the Bucs and Vegas wants to stay in business, they need the Giants to win. We're going to side with Vegas here rather than the public. So that's why we like the Giants plus 11. Tom Brady is going to win that game in a primetime game. The Giants are getting some guys back, and I think Saquon's going to play this game too, which is huge. The Giants
just got to be somewhat competitive.
I think they're going to be competitive in this game. The Giants always they always trick you. When you ever think they're going to be competitive, they blow it, and whenever you think they're down and out, they stay competitive. You never know. But I like plus 11 here, even on the road team. And then Cowboys, we decided to go the money line there. I just think they have a more solid, balanced football team with all around more talent on the roster than the Chiefs do. Who knows if that will matter because if the quarterback position is a great equalizer for football and the Chiefs have the best quarterback on the planet right now, Pat Mahomes, whether he's playing like it or not, he has that kind of talent in him. Let's see if he can pull that out. I'm hoping not. Dak Prescott, MVP hopeful, rooting for him. Let's hope he can show out this game. And all they got to do, in my opinion, is ride behind that O-line and Zeke. Keep the ball to Patrick Mahomes' hands. Give them as few possessions as possible. Chew clock, run the ball. Utilize play action. You got two great receivers in Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Dolan Schultz has really stepped up there at tight end too. They have so many weapons here in the Cowboys offense. I don't know how that really subpar Chiefs defense stops them. If anyone can do it, it's Andy Reid. But I like the Cowboys here.
Yeah, and then just to wrap it up, we got our teaser bet, Steelers plus 11.5. Like we mentioned, it's probably our least confident play, but getting the Steelers plus 11.5 against anybody, I would take it solely because they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Their games are most of the time very close, even if they don't put up a lot of points. They're just low-scoring battles.
Good coaching and good defenses. Give me the plus points, double digits. I'm going to take that every time. Will it win every time? Of course not, but it's a recipe for success. Mike Tomlin is just in his whole coaching tenure has competed. So is Big Ben, and so is that Steelers defense. That's a staple that hasn't gone anywhere, and that's why I like the Steelers plus 11.5. Ravens money line. I just think they're too good of a football team, quite honestly, to lose two straight.
I don't see them losing to the Bears.
Yeah, I think,
especially with every good player in the Bears.
Yeah, I hope. And the thing is, too, I say this in another video. I don't know the last time I've ever picked a Bears game correctly. This is so I stopped doing against the spread.
We got the Bears against the Steelers, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Spread. I'm just really bad. I personally am just terrible at predicting what the Bears are going to do. Being from Chicago, I can't do it. But so that's why I don't like betting the 5.5 or whatever. Say whatever that lines. But I do like the Ravens to win this game just because I think giving the superior football team coming off an embarrassing loss, that just brings more fuel to fire. Another great coach in Harbaugh. And I love the defense coordinator Don Martingale. Oh, the other reason I didn't mention I love the Ravens too. Ravens blitz more than any team in football. They just love getting out the quarterbacks. The Bears' offensive line is terrible. Justin Fields he's getting better, but he's still obviously an inexperienced quarterback. I don't think he's ready to step up against that kind of pressure and make throws play after play after play under pressure, especially with how good of a secondary. They don't have a great secondary, but they have great players in their secondary, the Ravens. It'd be interesting to see how Justin Fields reacts to this kind of pressure. I don't think he's ready for it yet. We'll see if I'm wrong on Sunday, though.
Yeah, and that teaser is actually -110. I just noticed that. Yeah. So that's our full card for the week. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let us know what you're taking in the comments. And just one other reminder, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you guys are enjoying our content, we hope to have another positive week and make this 3 weeks in a row now. Just keep building up that tracker unit.
Yeah, let's keep making some money. Hopefully, you can see our units here are 6 units for the NFL. You look at our entire card, we're getting close to 27 units. Hopefully to break 30 units this week. If you're in the betting game, check out our other videos because we have been making money consistently across all the sports for betting. Something you definitely want to check out. But great luck picking and betting on your games in NFL Week 11. We'll catch you next week.